PyTorch. PyTorch is again a deep learning framework and it is introduced by Facebook. PyTorch is a machine learning library for Python programming language which is used for applications like our neural language processing. The high-level features which are provided by the PyTorch, they are, first of all, with the help of the graphic processing unit or GPUs, it gives a tensor computing with strong acceleration. So this is the first high-level features which is provided by the PyTorch. Second, it provides the deep neural network which is built on the tape-based autodiff system. PyTorch, it was developed to provide the high flexibility and speeds during the implementing and building the deep learning neural network. It is basically a machine learning library for the Python programming language. Since again here we are using the Python programming language, so it makes this framework easy to understand and easy to work on. So PyTorch, it is a new framework which is developed by Facebook. It is again a machine learning library like we talked about TensorFlow. It was also a framework and it was developed by the Google team. PyTorch is again a deep learning framework that is developed by Facebook. Talking about the history of PyTorch. PyTorch, it was released in the year 2016. It was operated by Facebook. Facebook, we know it also operates Caffe2, which is the convolutional architecture for fast feature embedding. It is challenging to transform a PyTorch-based model into the Caffe2. So for this purpose, Facebook and Microsoft, they invented an open neural network exchange that we call ONNX in short in the year 2017 in the month of September. In simple words, if we say ONNX, that is an open neural network exchange, it was developed for converting the models between the framework. Caffe2, it was emerged in the year 2018 in the month of March into the PyTorch. So basically, PyTorch, initially it was released in the year 2016. But Facebook, since it also operates a convolutional architecture for the fast feature embedding, so it became challenging to transform a PyTorch defined model into the convolutional architecture for fast feature embedding. So for this, Facebook and Microsoft, they had to invent a new framework. So the new framework that was invented, that was known as the Open Neural Network Exchange. It was developed in September 2017. So ONNX, it was developed for converting the models between the framework. And the Caffe2, it was merged in 2018 into PyTorch. So basically the inventors of PyTorch, they wanted to make a highly imperative library which can easily run on all kind of numerical computation. And finally, they invented PyTorch. There was a big challenge for the deep learning scientists, machine learning developers, and even the neural network debuggers to run and test the part of code in real time. So PyTorch, it completes this challenge and it allows them to run and test their code in real time. So that is why these people, the machine learning developers and neural network debuggers and the deep learning scientists, they started using this particular framework. So this PyTorch again, it initially was invented in the year 2016 by Facebook, ONNX, it was developed for converting the models between the frameworks, and it was merged, ONNX, it was merged in the year 2018. Now, talking about some of the features of PyTorch, like we discussed the features of TensorFlow, here also we have some features of PyTorch. The first important feature that we have is simple interface. Our PyTorch, it has a very simple interface like Python. It provides an easy way to use the application programming interface. This framework, it is very easy to run and operate like Python. If you worked on Python, you must be knowing that the interface of Python is very simple. We do not have many synthetical issues with Python. We do have number of functions, number of libraries that we use. So PyTorch, since it is based on Python only, so it provides a simple interface. It provides an easy way to use a different application programming interface. This framework PyTorch, it is easy to run. PyTorch can easily understand or implement on both. It can be implemented on Windows as well as Linux. So, the first important feature why people prefer using PyTorch is that it provides a simple interface. Second thing is the hybrid front end. Our PyTorch, it provides us with a hybrid front end which provides flexibility and ease of use. It provides us a hybrid front end which makes us easy to work on, which makes our work easy to work. It provides us with the speedy work. It provides us with the optimization work. So all these things become very easy when we are working on the PyTorch. So the second important feature why today we prefer to use this PyTorch is that it provides us with a hybrid front end. Third reason for using our PyTorch is that it provides us with distributed training. PyTorch, it allows the developers to train a neural network model in a distributed manner. It provides the optimized performance in both research and production with the help of the native support for the peer-to-peer communication and asynchronous execution of collective operation from Python and C++. So it provides us with the distributed training. It allows the developers to train a neural network model in a distributed manner. Distributed means it can be run, it can be used on different platforms. So it provides us with the distributed training. Next feature of it is Python first. Python first, as the word is indicating, that the PyTorch, it is completely based on Python. PyTorch, it is built deeply into Python programming language. Its code, it is completely Pythonic. Pythonic means using widely adopted Python idioms rather than writing Java and C++ code in our code. We can so easily use the Python features. So it keeps the Python first. That is why we say that this is another reason for using Python. Python first. Another reason, another most important feature of this PyTorch is the tools and the libraries. A rich ecosystems of the tools and the libraries, they are available for extending the PyTorch and supporting the development in the areas from computer vision and the reinforcement learning. It provides us different tools. It provides us with so many libraries. These are developed. These are already there inbuilt in our PyTorch framework. So a rich ecosystem of tools and libraries, it is available for extending the PyTorch and supporting the development. If we are using it in the areas of computer vision, That is a most common area being used, where we want our images to be understandable, to be understood by our neural networks. And in the area of reinforcement learning, where we want our machines, our neural networks to learn by themselves, by performing their actions. This ecosystem, it was developed by the active community of developers and the researchers. So it provides us with different tools and libraries that can be, they're already inbuilt into the system, into this particular framework. So we can anytime easily make use of all these libraries for performing all the operations related to our deep learning architecture. Another important feature is native ONNX support. ONNX model, it was developed for converting the models between the framework. For direct access to ONNX compatible platform, the runtimes, the visualizers and more, you need to export the models in the standard ONNX. So this is another feature of PyTorch. Another one is C++ front-end. The C++ front-end, it is a C++ interface for the PyTorch, which allows the design and the architecture of the established Python front-end. It enables the research in high performance, low latency and bare metal C++ applications. So here we are provided with a C++ front-end also in the PyTorch. Another important feature is cloud partners. PyTorch, it is supported by major cloud platforms like the Amazon Web Services. With the help of the pre-built images, large-scale training on the graphic processing unit, and the ability to run models in the production environment, etc. So it provides frictionless development and easy scaling. So that is the reason of using PyTorch, since it is supported today by major cloud platforms. Cloud platforms, why are they being required? Because we have so much of data that we require for our deep learning applications. So to handle all this kind of data, we cannot use our own memory spaces all the time. So we do require some cloud platforms. So this PyTorch, it has a cloud partners, like the most major cloud partners like AWS. So this is another feature which makes the usage of PyTorch important. Now, since we have discussed about these two frameworks, so now let us talk about the difference between these two frameworks. We should know that when we are opting to use any of these frameworks, what is the basic difference between these two frameworks? And depending on knowing these differences, you can make your choice that which framework you want to use for development of your deep learning applications. Talking about one by one, both of them. PyTorch, it is developed by Facebook. TensorFlow, it is developed by Google. PyTorch, it was made using the Torch library. TensorFlow, it was deployed on Theno, which is a Python library. So PyTorch, it makes use of the Torch library, and TensorFlow, it makes use of the Python library. PyTorch, it works on the dynamic graph concept. TensorFlow, it believes on the static graph concepts. PyTorch, it has fewer features as compared to TensorFlow. TensorFlow, it has a higher level functionality and it provides broad spectrum of choices to work on. So if you are working on a small application or maybe you are the beginner, so in that case, you can make use of PyTorch. If you want to just work on some few features to begin with the deep learning application. So in that case, you can make use of PyTorch. But if you want to work on some big development, so Since TensorFlow, it has a high level functionality and provides broader framework of choices to work on, so TensorFlow can be your choice in that case. PyTorch, it uses simple application programming interface which saves the weight of the model. TensorFlow, it has a major benefit that the whole graph can be saved as a protocol buffer. Talking about more of these differences, PyTorch, it is comparatively less supportive in deployment. TensorFlow, it is more supportive for embedding and mobile deployment as compared to the PyTorch. PyTorch has a smaller community, while TensorFlow, it is a larger community. Since it is an open source and it is made by Google, so there are a number of researchers, number of scientists which are making it a larger community. So PyTorch is a smaller community, while TensorFlow, it is a larger community. PyTorch, it is easy to learn and understand. TensorFlow, it is comparatively hard to learn. PyTorch, it requires user to store everything into the device. TensorFlow, here the default settings, they are well defined in TensorFlow itself. PyTorch, it has a dynamic computational process. TensorFlow, it requires the use of debugger tools. Some of the features or the libraries of PyTorch, if you want to know, so let me give you a brief example of few of them. In PyTorch, we have the Pyro, we have the Horizon, we have the Chixnut. In TensorFlow, some of its features or libraries, it can be Ludwig, Magenta, Conet, etc. So these are some of the features or libraries of the PyTorch and the TensorFlow. So basically, we should be knowing that PyTorch, it is developed by our Facebook. TensorFlow, it is developed by Google. TensorFlow provides us with larger community, while PyTorch provides us with a smaller community. If you're working on a small application, you want to work on few features, you want to just begin with some application, so then you can make use of PyTorch. While TensorFlow provides you with more of functionality which you can use if you want to work on some broader perspective of some application of deep learning.